you know, loyalty. Loyalty is such a broad term. It could apply to a lot of different things. It could apply to friendship. It could apply to relationships. And this is something I feel so strongly about. That's why you can probably hear so much emotion in my voice. But loyalty is so important to me. And, you know, it's not because, oh, people who believe in it, uh, you know, zodiacs or stuff like that. I'm a Leo, so people are like, "Oh, well, you're a Leo. You have that tendency to be loyal." I don't even just because it's like written in the stars. Uh, all Leos aren't loyal. Um, but I feel a great sense of loyalty to the people who have trust in me. I feel loyal to the people who show great care about me, and that's one thing um, that I never understood: being unfaithful, not being loyal to your partner. Um, Me, I've never cheated. I've never been unfaithful to any person that I was with. That was never an issue. Um, Growing up, I grew up with a lot of men who, uh, my background, I'm Mexican. I There's a thing called machismo where a lot of men have to be, manly, manly men, and uh, I'd like to think sometimes I can man up a bit uh, while also being vulnerable because I grew up with around women, and a lot of the men I grew up around didn't have that. Um, my uncles, some of them didn't have good relationships with their sisters. My aunts, um, my grandparents or my grandpas, they didn't. They had to leave home, and they weren't around women like that. And a lot of times, because you're not around women, it I don't know what it is because I didn't experience it, but a lot of times it is easy for people to be unfaithful, and it goes both ways. Um, and I never wanted to be like them. That's why I've never felt that need or that want of unfaithfulness. I've never fallen into lust over wanting to be unfaithful or anything like that. That's why I never understood not being loyal to the one you love, because if you truly love that person, even if you have tons of disagreements with, why be unfaithful and why not just talk about it and just end it than being unfaithful? Like I never understood that, and I've met people who will go around and they'll date multiple women at the same time. And it always just confused me, and I don't understand it. I'd have to talk about it to people more, but a lot of the people I'm around now are loyal to their partners, and if they aren't loyal to their partners, well, how are they going to be loyal to just their friends, to anybody that they care about? If you're so easily able to betray the trust of someone like that, how do I know that you're not going to do the same to me one day? And loyalty doesn't just apply to relationships. It applies to being to friends too. Why would you go behind someone's back and betray them over small things, over big things? why do that? Because if you betray someone you care so much about, or if you betray someone that thinks that you care about them, especially if it's like a longer, a longer relationship, they kind of just it just breaks down a person, especially if it's someone that you've known for a while. Like, wow, you've been like this entire time, and I didn't even know it. So yeah, like unfaithfulness, being loyal, is kind of important to me because I grew up around that, and I never wanted to be unloyal, unfaithful. My name literally means faith. Why would I not be my name? Why would I not be who I am? So you'll probably, not probably, you'll never catch me being unfaithful. Like, what the hell? Like, that's the easiest thing to do. If you really love your person, you'll never be unfaithful. If you love what you have, there's no reason to go looking somewhere else for something. This just doesn't make any sense to me. Um, if you don't like the relationship that you're in, and instead you choose to go behind that person's back and be with someone else just for a night of pleasure or you know things like that, and it even applies to what people call micro cheating, little mannerisms that could possibly one day become something bigger. So it's important to be loyal, be faithful, be true to those who care about you. And if you don't like any point of something that you're in, it's better to talk it out than break the trust of someone who has placed so much trust in you. So I just thought about that, and like that was just so, it's just something I feel so strongly about because I grew up around that, and not wanting to be like that is just, it's just insane to me. That's why I feel so strongly about it, just because I grew up around that. I didn't want to be those people. So be loyal, be true, be faithful.